Have you ever been in a relationship where everything seemed perfect and then out of nowhere, they pulled away? So one day they're all in, they're texting you, they're calling you, making plans, maybe even talking about the future. And then suddenly they start feeling distant. They're not as responsive. They seem less engaged. And eventually you start to get this feeling that they are losing feelings. So if this has happened to you, I want you to know that it's not just in your head. And definitely it's not because you did something wrong. What's actually happening is something much deeper. And it's all connected to the avoidant attachment. And to help you, in this video, I'm going to explain why avoidants seem to suddenly lose feelings and what's actually happening in their head. And most importantly, what you can do about it. So if you've ever been left confused by an avoidant partner, keep watching. My name is Luna A. May, and I'm a life and attachment style coach and the author of books on attachment styles. What attachment style are you? And understanding and overcoming anxious attachment. And I'm in the middle of the writing of my third book on avoidant attachment. So let's get started with today's subject. The first thing I want you to make clear is that avoidants don't actually lose feelings out of nowhere. Might feel like that, and it definitely looks like that from the outside, but inside it's a completely different story. So at the beginning of a relationship, an avoidant partner might seem fully engaged. They are enjoying the company, they feel excited, and the relationship is still in a safe, lighthearted space. But the moment things start to feel too emotionally close, something shifts. And it's not because they want to pull away. It's because their subconscious mind is wired to see deep connection as a threat. So their brain is saying, wait, this is getting serious, this is getting deep, and this means danger for me. So this isn't a conscious decision. They're not sitting there thinking, I like this person, so I will sabotage the relationship. Of course, it's not that. It's much more automatic. Their nervous system registers closeness as a loss of control, as something that could make them vulnerable. And this is something they are really afraid of and something they are avoiding all their life. So what happens? Their body and mind start shutting down. They might suddenly feel less attracted, less excited, less emotionally invested. But really what's happening is that their defense mechanisms are kicking in. And this is where things get confusing. Because on the surface, it looks like they just lost interest. It looks like they are no longer into you. But in reality, they're pulling away, they're pulling back because they are overwhelmed by the emotional closeness of your relationship. So now let's talk about the energy behind avoidant attachment, because this isn't just about the behavior. It's also about the emotional frequency. The emotional frequency that the avoidants operate from. So they give off an energy of emotional distance, of self-protection. And even if they enjoy connection, even if they want love, crave love, their subconscious energy is saying, stay back. I don't trust this. I need to be in control to feel safe, and I'm not feeling in control. So at first they are present, they're showing up, they're enjoying the connection, they're enjoying being with you. But the second they feel too emotionally exposed, the entire system resists it. And the worst part is the more you try to bring them back, the more they feel the need to pull away. So this is completely unproductive because now not only are they feeling overwhelmed by intimacy, they're also feeling the pressure to connect, the pressure to explain, the pressure to give something that they don't know how to give. And if you have an anxious attachment, this dynamics becomes even more painful because while they are pulling away, you're probably feeling an instinct to fix the situation, to fix everything, to get closer, to try to understand. But to them, that just makes them feel even more trapped. And this creates the classic avoidant, anxious push and pull cycle. It's exhausting, but it's not random. It's all about subconscious core wounds and emotional conditioning. So why do avoidants do this? Where does this pattern come from? Most avoidants grew up in environments where emotional needs weren't met. So maybe their parents were emotionally distant, or maybe they were expected to be independent from a very young age. Or maybe also they learned that vulnerability was a weakness. And over time, the brain learned that it's safer to rely on yourself. And fast forward to an adulthood now, when they are in a relationship and the relationship start getting serious, those same childhood defense mechanisms come out. So their brain is saying, if I get too close, I could get hurt. If I let someone in, I might lose my independence. And instead of facing those fears, their mind tells them, you're just not feeling it anymore. It's easier for an avoidant to convince themselves that they lost interest than to acknowledge the real problem. So if you keep finding yourself in this situation, if you keep attracting avoidance and experiencing this dynamic, how do you break free? The key is not to chase them, not to try to pull them back in, but instead to shift your own energy into secure attachment. And here is what that looks like. You can start by regulating your nervous system. So if an avoidant pulls away, your instinct might be to panic, to reach out, to try to get clarity. But instead, pause, take a breath, let yourself settle, and the more you stay calm, the more grounded you are, the more you break the cycle of anxious avoidant energy. Next, rewire your subconscious beliefs about love. If you are being attracted to avoidance, there is a part of you that might be repeating old patterns. So maybe you're subconsciously drawn to emotional distance because it feels familiar. So try to reflect on this. The key is to start shifting those beliefs. Instead of thinking, I have to work for love, start thinking and affirming, I am safe in love. I deserve emotional availability. I attract secure, loving connections. And finally, embody secure energy. Secure people don't chase and they don't run. They communicate clearly. They don't try to control the relationship. They allow things to unfold naturally. When you start making decisions from a place of secure energy, the way people respond to you will shift too. Have you found this video helpful? If yes, I think that you might like also this one. And see you in the next one.